What is up, guys, and welcome back to another episode now of the Leeds United Career Mode. We're into episode number 111, and in today's episode we have the semi-final of the Champions League. We take on fellow English club Arsenal, of course, my supported club rather, not my hometown club, because Leeds are my hometown club. So it's weird because Leeds are playing Arsenal, the team I support, basically playing against my hometown team. So it's effectively a really weird one for me to play, especially when you look at it, the fact that Arsenal have never won a Champions League. So this potentially could go one of two ways. I knock out my favourite team and we go through to the final, or we get beaten by them and it's sort of like a win-win situation for me because then they're through to the final and hopefully we'll win it. But that's still to come in this episode today. We've got a lot of sim games as well to sit through, so hopefully you still enjoy the episode regardless. As I said, we will be moving clubs at the end of this season no matter what happens, whether it be through in this save or if I had to start a new career mode. This is the last season, guys. I know a lot of you wanted me to stay here at Leeds. I mentioned that we'll still possibly come back for one more year before the end of FIFA 17, but it's got to the point, guys, where the team's just simply too good, and I've said this before, and I've gave my reasonings as to why I want to move and stuff and start something else and give myself a new challenge. So that's the reason why I'm not going to go too much into detail, but simply, guys, the team is too good, so therefore I want to move clubs. But we have this episode to come, and then we have one more episode potentially left, and that, if we get through, will be the Champions League final. We'll still have the end of the Barclays Premier League as well, so you can see us lifting the trophy. So no matter what happens in today's episode, there will still be an episode to come in this one. And then, potentially, after that, we'll either be able to continue it if we are able to move clubs, or we'll have to stop it and start a new career mode, which will be voted by you guys. You guys will have the final say. I'll give you a list of something like 10 teams, and all of you guys can vote on the team that you want to see me start with next. So, of course, it completely is down to you. I will never make a decision based on anything unless I consult you guys first. So just know that, of course. Any suggestions you guys leave, I will take into account as well to make sure. Anybody leaving suggestions for English clubs, as much as I want to do them, guys, I have to say right now, I'm sorry, I won't be able to do another English team. The simple reason for that is because I promised somebody, I promised way back actually that after this one we'd move to a different club and we'd do like a overseas league in the likes of Spain, France, Germany, something like that. So to go back on that would be wrong of me to do. So that's why I started the Road to Glory one. That's still a team in England, and therefore we still have an English career mode going on. But at the same time, I want to move clubs and either go to, as I say, France, Spain, Germany, something like that, just to add a bit of spice to the series. But guys, if you're enjoying the video, I'd appreciate if you could drop a like rating on this one. I've asked you guys so many times for 25 likes. On so many occasions, you've smashed it and gone so far ahead. So, I'm going to up the like target for this one. If we can hit 40 likes on today's episode of this career mode for a semi-final leg against Arsenal, a double header here, that would be greatly appreciated. You guys are mental as well, hopefully as well. You will have seen that we've hit 4,000 subscribers on the channel, so that's incredible. I owe everything to you guys. You guys are some of the greatest support I've ever had on the channel, and it's mental to see the channel at 4,000 subscribers now. So that's credit to every single one of you out there. And the beauty about this, guys, is once eventually we grow even more, there's so much more I can do on this channel. You know, the likes of Ultimate Team, the likes of any other games that I possibly want to play. Of course, I'll start a new channel at some point for other games if I ever get more time to do it. I've been asked by you guys to play other games such as NBA, but I don't know too much about basketball and stuff like that. Maybe down the line Madden as well, because I do watch, or I like to sort of dip into NFL, but I've never sort of really got into it, so maybe that's a possibility down the line. So there's still potential for us to play other games as well. So keep leaving suggestions and stuff that you want to see on the channel, because of course I still take it in. And even if they're not done right now, the chances are that in the future when I have more time on my hands, the potential is there to be able to do them. So keep leaving them. As I say, a few of you guys have asked me to do some NBA, but as I said in the comments, I literally know nothing about basketball, so it would be like watching a 2-year-old playing a game. I would be so bad. But if you want to see it, I'm down to do it. So there it is, guys. But we kick this episode, as I said, with the sim games. But here it is, guys, the semi-final first leg. We take on Arsenal. We are at home for this one. In my opinion, they have a much weaker team than what I would have liked to have seen. Like, I don't particularly know what Arsene Wenger's thinking when he's made this team. You know, Zaza up front on his own. Questionable decision-making from the Frenchman. But maybe he'll prove me wrong. But you can see, straight from kickoff, we had the first chance in this one. And it was only fitting, really, that someone who's been here for the entirety of the series and has been an absolute G for us in the entire way through got off to the greatest of starts. You can see Firmino, great through ball there. Joel Green in behind the defence. And that was just the greatest way to start off in this game. Yes, it was poor from Arsenal, but the ball through from Firmino was inch perfect, and the finish at the end of it from Joel Green was even better. There's questionable goalkeeping there, though, made by Donnarumma, of course, formerly of Leeds United. He maybe should have saved it, but what I will say is the man coming across the near post there did sort of put him off. You can see there, number 21, I can't remember who it exactly is, but the man coming across the near post did actually put off Donnarumma, and that's probably why the ball ended up in the back of the net. So I was very happy to take the lead in this one, and to do it in a way of that sort of manner very, very happy to get Joel Green on the score sheet. It comes his second Champions League goal so far this season. Fantastic way to start this one. So Arsenal have a lot of work to do, but of course, if they get a goal in this one, away goals are so important in Champions League ties, and they almost had it here 23 minutes in. Carrasco, who's definitely a dangerman for them on this left-hand side, does a lot of good work there. Meg's the player there. I think it was Kante he megged in the end, and a fantastic strike is well saved down to his right-hand side there from Rulli. He's been a good addition to the squad, and that's great from you guys for suggesting him yet again. Fantastic tackle, though, by Eric Bailly, making sure that the play does actually break up for Arsenal, and from that, we went up the other end here at Neymar. Good little ball inside to Firmino. Firmino goes once more to Eriksen. Eriksen waits for the run of Joel Green. It eventually comes in, and there's just no mistake that Joel Green is ever going to make in that situation. So 20 minutes from time, Leeds United 2, Arsenal 0. Ellen Road was bouncing. We were looking as if we were going to take a 2-0 aggregate lead over to the Emirates here for this semi-final of the Champions League. I love that celebration as well, guys, the little rowing one, when they sit on the advertising boards and have a little bit of fun. But some celebrations in this game as well are absolutely immense. Like, I've noticed there's some celebrations that go in this game that are absolutely nuts, and it's just crazy to see some of the celebrations they've added. But that one is one of my favourite ones there. Nice little goal as well to cap it off. Joel Green with his second in the game, and as I mentioned, 99 finishing on this man does not go unnoticed. As well, guys, there will be a squad report at the end of this episode, so anybody who has asked for it, it will be at the back end of this episode. I apologise in advance as well for the fact that I've not actually done a squad report in a long time. The only reason for that is I always forget to do it, and that's literally the only reason why. Otherwise, it would have probably been in the series. But Joel Green, 2 goals, 2-0 up, and it looks as if we are having the time of our lives at home. But, guys, I mentioned how important away goals can possibly be, and 73 minutes on the clock, a bit of a mix-up by us at the back. Zaza steals the ball back. This is just absolute quality from Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. That is a wonderful strike from the winger, and that is deserving of winning any game. But because we were 2-0 up, all he will have to settle for is possibly a consolation in this one. It does get them in the away goal, which, as I mentioned, is very important. So going into the second leg, provided that they can win that by a goal to nil, they will go through on away goal. So that is very important, that away goal for Arsenal there. And that's a fantastic strike from Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. Just couldn't quite make the block, and Rulli couldn't quite make the save either. Take nothing away from the strike, though. It was fantastic from the Englishman. So 2-1 victory here at home. I am slightly disappointed at the fact we've given away an away goal, but on the other side of that, we managed to pick up the victory. And so we move into that game at the Emirates, knowing that if we score an away goal, the pressure is then on Arsenal as well, because they then have to win the game, or at least match the result that we had at Ellen Road there to take it to extra time. So there's a lot of possibilities going over to the Emirates and playing that one over there, because, as I mentioned, it could literally happen any way that we want it to. So, provided we don't lose the game, chances are we're going through, if we manage to score, that is. Because, of course, if we don't lose the game, rather, we are going through no matter what. So, if we draw it, we will be through. That's the only aim I've got to go to Emirates to. But, of course, I'm not going to go and play for the draw, because if I do that, I always mess up. As soon as I try and play for the draw, I always mess it up, and I always concede. So, I'm not going to go there to play for the draw. I'll be going there to play for the win as much as I possibly can. We had a Premier League game just to mix it up a little bit between games here against Newcastle. But this one, guys, was interesting to say the least. Of course, Newcastle were top 4 last year in the save, but they're in 10th position going into this one. So it seems to be a recurring theme in this series so far. Whenever a team gets into the top 4 that we weren't expecting to get top 4, they always seem to drop off the season after. Maybe it's the fact of playing Champions League football alongside the Premier League that makes them always struggle in terms of picking up results in the Prem. But Newcastle were definitely struggling. They were in the Champions League, of course, so they were sat in 10th position at this point. You can see there the league table, and it's actually Spurs, City and United that make up the other places in the top 4 alongside us, of course. The title looks like it's coming back to Ellen Road for the 3rd or 4th consecutive year now. I think it is 4, I think it is actually. So that's crazy to see as well. We're potentially going to have 4 Premier League titles in a row and potentially 3 Champions League titles in a row. And you guys want me to stay here at Leeds? That's what I mean, guys. The team is just way too good. I could potentially sim an entire season and probably still win the Prem and at least get to the semis, in my opinion, of the Champions League. That's how good this team is. Maybe I'll experiment with it and just see how far we can go by simming and see what we can win. But as you can see, guys, this game was literally to break up the 2. It's not the most entertaining game, I have to say, because, of course, no Premier League games are that entertaining anymore when we just demolish every single team. So we went into this one against Newcastle on high confidence after they win against Arsenal in the semi-final. 53 minutes in. Questionable refereeing, I want to say, because it's a bit of a weird one, this one, because it was sort of a bad tackle, but was it a penalty? He did genuinely go for the ball there, and had Barkley not have got his foot in front of the defender's foot, it would have been, he did get the ball, but he took the man first. So the referee points to the spot, Lukaku steps up, goes towards the right-hand side, the keeper guesses wrong, and of course we put it into back of net with Romelu Lukaku, the big Belgium, getting himself another goal. But, as I said, questionable refereeing. I would have said it was a penalty, don't get me wrong. I mean, the contact is there. But was it a harsh penalty or was it a justified decision by the ref? Let me know in the comments. But I personally have seen them given and I've seen them not given as well. So that definitely could have gone either way in that one. But thankfully, it went our way. We got the goal from the spot as well. And pretty much, guys, that was it. There was nothing worth showing you guys in this game. It was an absolute boring game. There was one chance in the dying few minutes of the game here for Newcastle. You'll see it coming up in just a second here. But it was an extremely poor finish. And it just shows you what they've done this season. I mean, last season getting top 4 was an absolutely unbelievable achievement for everybody at Newcastle. But then they've struggled, as I said, massively to get themselves back anywhere near as good as they were last year. So you can see they did get one chance, 83 minutes in. It was sort of poor defending by me at the same time as they did take the strike on. But it was pretty much easy for Rulli in between the sticks to make the save there. We then went on the attack in the 90th minute, looking to just die down the clock. I did have an effort with Barkley that went, unfortunately, wide of the post, but that was the way the game would end. 1-0 victory, 3 points again. Let's face it, though, guys. Was it ever in doubt? Probably not. We always looked as if we were going to win this one here, and although I say that, it took us a penalty to be able to win this one, but still, a 1-0 victory nonetheless. A fantastic result there. Another 3 points, and the title is pretty much secured, I'd say. Not mathematically, but certainly it is getting closer to that point where we can mathematically say we are Premier League champions yet again. So, as I'm recording this as well, guys, to break off a little bit here before we have a little bit of time, it's the deadline day. Now, I don't know which clubs you guys support, but being an Arsenal fan, it's just so boring watching deadline day. Like, seriously is. You just know for a fact nothing's going to happen. And I genuinely feel sorry for any reporter that has to stand at the Emirates because you just know that nothing's going to happen. You just know he's not going to get any time on the air. You may as well just go home and go to bed because seriously, nothing is going to happen. You'll have more fun going to bed and sleeping than you will actually standing at the Emirates and trying to report on transfers because that's literally nothing happens at the Emirates. So hopefully your teams did a bit more deals than mine did because mine was an absolute just... I mean, we don't particularly need too many signings, but it would have been nice, to have just one more signing in there, even if it was just a fringe player, just to add a little bit to the club and, spend a bit of money. But hopefully all clubs did do some good deals. I mean, I don't particularly know who did the best deal. I mean, Niang to Watford, who coincidentally, as I'm recording this, are actually playing Arsenal right now, and he's starting against Arsenal. So that could potentially be a decent signing there for themselves. But let me know who you support and what sort of deals your clubs brought in. And let me know as well, guys, who you think will be the best signing of this January transfer window. I've got a couple of players in mind, but I'm not going to say them just yet because I don't particularly want to say anything until the full deadline day is done because there could be a deal that comes in, which I really think, wow, how have they got that player? But I know for a fact, guys, Odion Ighalo has just agreed a £20 million move to China. That is an unbelievable deal for Watford. 20 million quid for a player who hasn't scored a goal this year, I don't think, in the Prem, is an absolutely ridiculous deal. So if I was a Watford fan, I would say right now I'd be extremely happy with the money that we got for him there. So decent deal for Ighalo, hopefully as well, to spice up the Prem a little bit. They can bring maybe another player in the last couple of hours of the transfer window using that cash from Odion Ighalo, but it's looking unlikely. Looks as if Niang's signing will be the one that actually leads the line for Watford, and hopefully for them, he doesn't get injured, because otherwise it could be quite a difficult season for them, as they are probably fighting relegation, if we're being honest with you. So it is what it is. But let's break away from that now, because we have the second leg at the Emirates here, looking as if we will be going through to that Champions League final for the third consecutive year running, and being able to fight for it for the third consecutive year running. But guys, it's probably going to be a weird one, because I bet you any money, if we get to that final, we're probably going to lose it, just for the simple fact that we've won the last two. It just would be so fitting if this was our last season to lose it, and it just wouldn't make sense to win it, basically. So, going into that, I will be quite confident, but at the same time, I could be a little bit unconfident. But you can see there, Arsenal literally had one chance the entire game. It came in a stroke of half time, and had that have gone in, guys, we would have been going out. It was 0-0 at this point. I kept them to a 0-0 draw. I didn't play for the draw, so as I said, I wasn't coming here to play for the draw. But it was such an anticlimactic ending to a way in which I was expecting this to be an unbelievable game. I was expecting Arsenal to go all guns blazing, all out attack. They didn't do that. They were going out and they were happy to sit back. You can see by the match facts, I had one shot and it wasn't even on target. That's how much they controlled the play in that one. They were more happy passing it around the back than they were going and attempting to have an attack at my goal. So, of course, no idea what Wenger was thinking. He, of course, didn't want to risk the counter-attack coming in and us grabbing a goal there away from home, because that would have been deadly to them. But it's the, 80-something minutes in, you have to go ultra-attacking and just try and grab yourself a goal. But unfortunately, they didn't do that. We got the victory. We're through to the final of the Champions League. Again, it could have been very different if that header had gone in the back of the net and not cannon back off the bar, because we would, as I say, have been leaving the competition and would have been going out on away goals had that have ended up in the back of the net. But, guys, here is a squad report that you guys have requested as well. You can see the players, how they're getting on with their stats and stuff. As I said to you guys, thank you all so much for the support you show on my channel. And I said as well, I'm looking to have a bit more time eventually. Not right now, but Hopefully in a few months' time, I'll have a lot more time on my hands and therefore I can like branch out and do other stuff that you guys are requesting of me. But let me know in the description or the comments. I've asked you to leave me a lot of comments today. And yeah, keep leaving comments because I do read them, even if I don't reply to them. That's another thing I want to point on as well, guys. If I don't reply to comments, it's literally because there's so many comments I've got to reply to. And it's getting to the point now where I'm literally spending maybe 40 to 50 minutes a day sitting through the comments and replying to them, which is crazy. And I appreciate every comment you guys leave. But at the same time, it's becoming increasingly difficult to do it. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think we should do if we hit 5k subscribers on the channel. I've got a couple of ideas in mind as well, but leave me a comment and let me know what you think we should do for that. You can see the squad report on your screen. Patrick Rose, we did in fact recall back to the club as well because he's very good. I'm going to try and use him for the last 6 months. I say 6 months, we're actually past that. What am I talking about? Next episode in the Prem, I might give him a run out and see what he's capable of doing. But that's going to wrap up this episode, guys. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. If you have, I'd appreciate it if you could drop that like rating. As always, guys, thank you all so much for your continued support, and I will catch you all with another video very soon. Adios.